Good evening, everybody. Good night, or no, good evening, I think is what you say when you say hello.
Talking Dirty
with Maestro.
Not just numbers,
not just stats.
it's about what they mean.
I'm going to send to you the information.
Talking Dirty.
Hello and welcome to Talkin Dirty with your boy. Me. Hey fam, how's everybody doing? Got another tournament coming up this week after a week off. We got some catching up to do, but not as much as you really think we do. But what's really cool about this situation is this is a tournament where we're going to have teams that have teams that already have championships under their belt, and one team with two championships under their belt in terms of prep tournament. So what does that tell us about what's happening? We're starting to see that the teams that are settling in, that are being able to work their strategy, doing what they're able to do, or starting to be successful. That success is starting to show. More importantly, though, what we're learning about prep ball in this particular format is the mental durability of the players, and that's huge. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. So let's take a look at it. In the Canada flight, or some people say Canada, but it's going to be Canada, because that's the rule. My show, at me. It's going to be really exciting. They're all excited. It's going to be really exciting for a couple of different reasons. One, we have a team like G5, Gotham 5, that's second in offensive rebounds. They're third in points per game, which means they turn those offensive rebounds into points. And they're really going to have to build on that this particular week. Why am I saying that? For me, they're my number 3 favorite team to come out on top this particular tournament. They've already have a tournament championship. They are a solid team. They're not solid, bad word. I apologize, G5. I'm sorry. They're a complete team. They're a complete team in that they can perform from any lever on the floor. However, they need to perform on the inside to make themselves successful, but they've proven that they can beat you from the outside too. But for them, it always starts with the inside-outside game. And I'm curious to see how that's going to play out this weekend, because there's going to be a lot of outside-inside game going on. Speaking of which, another team, the hometown favorite, the North. The North has got some issues, and not issues in a good way. They're first in prep universe in turnovers, but they're second in forced turnovers. And unlike G5, that has a player like Emil Griffith, who is very effective in all parts of the floor and can make his baskets, they have two players that should be equally as effective in Enzo Wolf and Trey Scott Jr. Now, with the North, with that we give it and we take it away attitude that they play with, they truly need to find a way to fix one thing. And they need to take a book from the aforementioned G5. And that is to turn their offensive rebounds, of which I think they're in the top 10. I think they're 8th. They need to turn those offensive rebounds into points. Now, I get it. Some of you guys, rightfully so, bang on Maestro because I say certain things that seem like I'm repeating myself a lot. But fam, basketball is simple. You have to find a way to turn certain things into other things, because if you do not, and if those things do not end up in points, you are in a bad way. Some people can make their points. The North is not one of those teams. To be that high in offensive rebounds and still that high in turnovers means that there is a carelessness with the ball that they have to pay attention to. So I'm not being repetitive because I'm pulling it from a stacked seat sandwich. Excuse me, Wes. Oh, woo! How you ate that sneeze, fam? I'm going to give myself a yeah. So, how are you going to push yourself in terms of that's really bad? I'm keeping it too. I'm sorry. I'm not doing that again. We're gonna keep that take. Um, the idea here for the North, turning those offensive rebounds into points is going to be a key for them in terms of making themselves an opportunity to come on top and be able to do what they need do to take advantage of their fault, which in this case is turnovers. Uh, sorry, I didn't mean to laugh at myself that much. The North, of course, they do not have a championship this year. As a matter of fact, I don't know if they've I have to look. I have to look at the Stat Master here. I'm not sure if they've even won a game so far this year. And another team that won championship this year, Southeast Select, running with KJ Hills and Dexter Jackson. Dexter Jackson. Um, the this team, simply put, needs to live in transition. When they won their championship, they basically transitioned everybody into the ground. They're so athletic across the table. I say that all the time about them. It's one thing that I appreciate about their game, and I appreciate how they use their athleticism. So that is something that they need to build on. I'm still laughing about that sneeze, by the way. My bad. I'm sorry. I know oh man, Maestro's gonna be in trouble, y'all. Y'all pray for Maestro because the administration is not gonna like this. Um, but with Hills and Jackson, and the team in general, extremely athletic across the table, can run you into the ground. In my opinion, they can run pretty much everybody into the dirt except for maybe one team in this particular tournament that we're going to talk about in the second half. But that's where they're going to need to live to be consistent because that game is going to translate against any team that they're playing against here this particular weekend up in Canada. So there you go. We're going to talk about my two favorites on the other side.
Thank you for listening to the Maestro. Want to get involved? Bring it.
Drop in discord.gg/SimWorld Hoops.
If you have the brain, join as a coach. If you have the game,
join as a player.
see the game,
Be
be the
the
game.
game.
Now, back to the Maestro.
Sorry. We'll be right back. Okay, we're back. And welcome back to Talkin Durty with your boy. So, y'all, Maestro messed up, y'all. But it's okay. Pray for me. You know, I always got your back, no matter where I'm suspended to this time. I do have my passport, so I can keep hanging out in Canada here for a good minute. So it's all good. So the remaining three teams in the tournament. I already told you that G5 is my number 3 pick to take the tournament. If I were to put a wild card, it's going to be the OGs, with LeJaron Tompkins III leading them. This is going to sound really reductive, so I'm going to apologize in advance. The OGs need to simply play like a team, and by that I mean complementary basketball. Offensive rebounds into resets or into points, defensive rebounds into open transitions that get stopped maybe at the half court line. Then you need to do an open reset. But every part of their game needs to connect to the other game. So it needs to be the ankle bone's connected to the calf bone's connected to the ear bone's connected to the pinky toe, whatever the song is. That needs to happen for them. Otherwise, they are not going to be able to be consistent enough to run with the teams that they're playing against, especially in their half of the bracket. Now, the reality of the OGs, with all the talent that they have, in a lot of ways, they kind of remind me of Gulf Coast. A lot of talent, a lot of mobility, but we're not seeing the ultimate end result. We're seeing great performances. I think we're seeing good teaching, good classroom stuff going on, but we're not seeing it come together in the end result. And I just think that's a matter of not just being like a team on the floor, but also between from the coaching staff to the team, from the coaching staff to the ownership, from the ownership to the management. All those things need to sort of play together to set up that good educational environment that can turn into top tier basketball. We know they can do it. They've proven they can do it before. Um, this coach has done everything to show us that he is a good coach and can be trusted. So let's do that. But I think it's just about getting comfortable, more comfortable, because once they do that, they're going to go back to being the juggernaut they always were before. Now, my top two teams that I'm expecting to do very, very well in the tournament. We'll go with the Bad Boys, led by Trey Gear, Kalnick Jokic. They do it defensively, old school style defensive basketball. They're in the top 10 in blocks. And again, this is back to that complementary basketball again. They managed to turn those blocks into offensive resets or at least defensive disruptor plays that slows down the other team. And how they've done that this year, they've walked away with two, not one, but two tournament championships, which means they have the one part of the game, I apologize, that translates across the table, and that is defense, specifically around the rim. And I will say this, especially between Greer, Jokic, and some of the other players on the team, I love that every shot you take against the Bad Boys is going to be contested. I'm sorry. That is just, well, I'm not sorry, but that is just the one element of the game that you can't really classroom that, right? You can talk about it. You can say we want to do this, but notice the word that I used in that was want. And that's exactly where they are. And they want to do that, which makes it so impressive that across the table, with what's going on in the classroom, with what's being put out in the general culture of the team, and I know that's not the way we use culture usually, but the way they go about that is mwah, chef's kiss, man. Amazing. Love it. Love what Bad Boys are doing. And so they're my number two favorite to take the tournament this weekend. And the other team, my number one favorite, and I'm just going to get to why, and that is Atlantis. Atlantis, they too have one championship under their belt from tournaments this season. They got my favorite trio in basketball. Other than, I would say me and my twin brother. I guess I should say triplets, because it's me, Maestro, and Marcus. Marcus doesn't count. He doesn't have a cool name. Anyway, but my favorite set of triplets in the game, you know. Doug, Marcus, and Kendrick Jorgens. As they go, so does Atlantis go. And this is a team, they're fourth in rebounds. They're first in assists, which means they move the ball around effectively, and the team is in good position to score. They're first in points per game, and they're 5 in opponents' points per game. They play a complete game that is so appreciated because, and I'm going to go back to how I talked about them early on in the season. Just around those three players alone, we know there are other players on Atlantis, but just around those three players alone, we can make an argument that they can beat you inside, outside, outside, inside, because of their ability to flip their offense and to their ability to use their bigs as smalls, their smalls as bigs. And that aggression and that balance makes them very hard to deal with. And I'm just going to be frank about it. The way they play, I am somewhat surprised to this point that they only have one tournament championship. And now we can talk about the games where, in one tournament where, just had one player who happened to went bananas on everybody and basically willed his team to a championship. That was one of their tournament losses. And that player, of course, was Emil Griffin, right? But the idea for Atlantis and why I say that they're the team to beat is because they can beat you where you are because of the talent that they have. But more importantly, Atlantis, if you draw up a team and you say, okay, I need to be destructive from every part of the floor, that's the team that has it. They can beat you in transition. They can stop you in transition. All the transitions. Offense to defense, defense to offense, half court to semi-court, to half court to semi-court in defensive side too. Because they're so athletic, they're so long, they disrupt the lanes. But they can also beat you in the traditional game of half court game because they can decide to go into the post first and then kick it back out to the outside to take advantage of that, or go in the post, then kick back out to the outside shot, the foul line extended guys and stuff like that. And they're really good from the mid-range game. So what is there not to like? You know the deal. Holla at your boy. I know this one was a little extra longer than usual. That's because I missed you guys so much from last week and hanging up here in Canada, with this Canadian great air and stuff like that. Got your boy sneezing. That's what's up. Being at the airport, I'm here early just because I was hanging out here all week. I'm at the airport now. A couple of friends are coming in to town to watch the tournament this weekend, so we're going to do some hangout, do whatever. Watch some SimWorld U games going on tonight. Got to do that. Been great games there this week. I know this is prep talk, but I got to give a shout out to SimWorld U because, man, conference games are getting good, yo. But yeah, holla at your boy. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about it. Let me know how you want to think about it. Let me know how you want to talk about it. Who do you think is a favorite for this week? And I always ask you to tell me why. Don't just say I like blah because no reason. Litigate. Come on, man. State your case in front of the court. Come to the bench. Let's have that conversation. Seriously. You guys know a lot about basketball. Maestro gonna let you show off because that's what Maestro do, right? I get you. Forget my brothers. That's what Maestro's gonna do for you. All right. I got your back 100%. And no matter what else we do, even up in Canada, never let Jason Bourne borrow your car.
Like I need to talk to somebody.
Thank you for listening to Maestro.
Thank you again for checking out Maestro. Drop a tag below and give us a piece of your mind. See you next time.
Well, thank you for your time. Have a wonderful day.